Okay guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, fasten your seatbelts. Here we go. All right guys, well, I'm back and it's Thursday, May 14th, and it's 9:31 p.m. Eastern Time. So let's get started. I just want to make sure that my volume is up here, and it is. So let's go over here because I thought what we would do tonight is get caught up on the Q posts because we are quite far behind right now. We've got some from the 12th because I had uploaded before Q had finished posting. So we have some from the 12th, and then we have yesterday's posts to go through, the 13th, and Q has been posting this evening as well. So I'm not sure how much we'll get to tonight. I do have another video prepared as well with news items that are quite pertinent, and I would like to get to that, but I know I can't get to everything tonight. But we will go through the Q posts, and then I guess after that, I'll have a better idea of how much more it would take, whether one video or two videos to finish them, and we'll go from there. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well this evening. I don't know about you, but I'm getting tired of this lockdown. Just having a haircut right now would just seem like heaven on earth, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. I know in the States, things are starting to open up, particularly in the red states, but still not back to normal by any stretch of the imagination, but we are not even approaching normal. So let's get into Q, and I do have a couple people to thank. I'm going to do that in the next video. Also, I wanted to be short. I'm sorry, that was Xander. He jumped on the little table that holds the microphone, so I hope that wasn't too loud for you. But anyway, I do want to note that if you want to be subscribed to the channel, make sure you're still subscribed, because as you know, YouTube doesn't like people that have messages that they don't approve of. They don't like their numbers to grow too much. So every now and then my numbers drop because they take some off. So if you wish to be subscribed, then please make sure you're still subscribed. And I would appreciate that so very much. Okay, now let's get into the Q posts. And we're picking up right from where we left off in the last video I did on Q posts. We are picking up from where we left off there, and we're on drop 4224. 4224. Swamp Judge Sullivan will allow for public comment on the Flynn case. And this by Anonymous, and this was posted by Technofog. It is a Twitter update, and it says Flynn update. Looks like Judge Sullivan will allow for public comment. Judge Sullivan, a minute order anticipating that individuals and organizations will seek leave to file briefs for the benefit of the court. A briefing schedule order will follow. Now, let's move down, and Q has added to this and said, Q, all the lawfare hacks working on their briefs as we speak. And we have this, this link leads to this, which we've just looked at. And then we have another link that we're going to go out to in a moment. And it says, did you listen carefully? Subject, Flynn. Topic, rule of law at risk. Can you prosecute without prosecutors? No, of course not. Can you extend in the public arena to push a coordinated narrative? The swamp runs deep, and indeed it does. Very deep indeed. All right, let's take a look. Let's first take a look at this first one, because even though we've looked at it, we really couldn't see it. Because I know you guys on your tiny phones, you couldn't see that. Don't even try to tell me that you could. So Flynn update, looks like Judge Sullivan will allow for public public comment. And this says a briefing schedule. Now, I don't know if that's minute order or minute order. must be minute order as to Michael T. Flynn. Given the current posture of this case, the court anticipates that individuals and organizations will seek leave of the court to file amicus curiae briefs pursuant to local civil law. There is no analogous rule in the local criminal rules, but the local civil rules govern all proceedings in the United States Court for the District of Columbia. An amicus curiae, defined as friend of the court, does not represent the parties, but participates only for the benefit of the court. And then, moving down here, it says, accordingly, at the appropriate time, the court will enter a scheduling order governing the submission of any amicus curiae briefs, signed by Judge Emmett G. Sullivan on 5/12/2020 and entered 5/12/2020. All right, now we're going to get into this a little bit more so that we understand what we're looking at here, because of course, that is what we're here for, to understand. And let me see here. Okay, now I'm going to go to the second item here first before we draw this all together. Exclusive, Obama says in private call that rule of law is at risk in Michael Flynn case. Right, and he's one to talk about the rule of law. So, Washington, former President Barack Obama, talking privately to ex-members of his administration, said Friday that the rule of law is at risk. What is this? Hang on. That the rule of law is at risk in the wake of what he called an unprecedented move by the Justice Department to drop charges against former White House National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. In the same chat, a tape of which was obtained by Yahoo News, Obama also lashed out at the Trump administration's handling of the CV pandemic as an absolute chaotic disaster. The news over the last 24 hours, I think, has been somewhat downplayed about the Justice Department dropping charges against Michael Flynn, Obama said in a web talk with members of the Obama Alumni Association, and the fact that there is no precedent that anybody can find for someone who has been charged with perjury just getting off scot-free. Well, first of all, Obama, he wasn't charged with perjury. I don't know where you're getting your information, but he was never charged with perjury. That's the kind of stuff where you begin to get worried that basic, not just institutional norms, but our basic understanding of rule of law is at risk. And when you start moving in those directions, it can accelerate pretty quickly, as we've seen in other places. He is absolutely the very last person that should ever talk about rule of law. The Flynn case was invoked by Obama as a principal reason that his former administration officials needed to make sure former Vice President Joe Biden wins the November election against President Trump. So I am hoping that all of you feel the same sense of urgency that I do, he said. Whenever I campaign, I've always said, this is the most important election, especially, obviously, when I was on the ballot. That always feels like it's the most important election. This one, I'm not on the ballot, but I'm pretty darn invested. We got to make this happen. Yeah, he is pretty darn invested because, excuse me, yeah, he's invested because he knows that his butt is on the line if Trump gets reelected. Because he knows Trump will go after him and the Trump administration will go after him, and rightfully so. So, yeah, he is pretty darn invested. Okay, and Obama misstated the charge to which Flynn had previously pleaded guilty. He was charged with false statements to the FBI, not perjury, but the Justice Department, in a filing with a federal judge on Thursday, asked that the case be brought by special counsel Robert Mueller be dismissed, arguing that FBI agents did not have a justifiable reason to question the then National Security Advisor about his conversation with Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak. FBI agents and Mueller's prosecutor concluded he had lied about. And of course, that was, I don't think we need to Well, let's just go on here. Still, Obama's unvarnished remarks were some of his sharpest yet about the Trump administration and appeared to forecast a dramatically stepped-up political role he intends to play in this year's election. The comments came during a lengthy chat in which he also sharply criticized the response to the CV pandemic, blaming it on the tribal trends that have been stoked by the president and his allies. This man has no shame, no conscience at all. And he goes on, as he usually does. And Obama's remarks about Flynn seem especially pointed in light of the fact that the former Army general had served in his administration as director of the Defense Intelligence Agency until he was forced out by administration officials who viewed him as a chaotic, insubordinate manager. During the transition, Obama even warned Trump not to hire Flynn, advice that Trump ignored. Obama also gave some insights into his life during the pandemic. The lack of sports, he said, is driving me nuts, but there was a bright side, he added. His daughters, Malia and Sasha, are stuck having dinner with me at home. Excuse me. That is allergies, not coronavirus. Okay, now let's go back here and pull this all together. So, according to Lisa Mae Crowley, can't prosecute without prosecutor. Only reason Sullivan, clearly compromised, won't dismiss General Flynn's case is to draw out to push AG Barr to resign. Same reason Hussein leaked the 8th May call, followed by letter from 2,000 former DOJ hacks. Timeline, 7th of May, DOJ moves to dismiss Flynn case. 8th of May, Hussein call leaked regarding rule of law at risk. 11th of May, 2,000 former DOJ officials want Barr to resign. And notice they're former DOJ officials. Yeah. And 12th of May, Sullivan invites amicus briefs from those interested in rule of law. Every patriot lawyer should submit one. Now, excuse me. What is an amicus curiae brief? Well, I didn't know myself. An amicus curiae brief is a persuasive legal document filed by a person or entity in a case, usually while the case is on appeal, in which it is not a party but has an interest in the outcome, typically the rule of law that would be established by the court in its ruling. Amicus curiae literally means friend of the court. Amicus parties try to help the court reach its decisions by offering facts. And by offering facts, analysis, or perspective that the parties to the case have not. So, yeah, if anyone out there is a lawyer, they would be able to file. So, there you go. Now, this by Dio Presso Liber. It's a lot more clear to me why AG Barr did not wait to see if Judge Sullivan would enter an order granting Sidney Powell's motion to dismiss. Barr knew Sullivan would deny the motion, so DOJ went ahead and dropped charges with prejudice, which put the ball in Sullivan's court. DOJ dismisses with prejudice and forces Sullivan to reveal his ties to the deep state. When a prosecutor drops charges, the charges are dropped. I'm not aware of any situation in which a judge asks for the public or Congress, I anticipate Schiff will file a brief, to file briefs opposing the prosecutor's decision to dismiss criminal charges. Sullivan should have simply signed the order dismissing charges that Sidney Powell provided to him. At this point, I do believe there should be an investigation into Judge Sullivan. And I think we can all agree on that. It's quite evident that he is deep state and trying to pull a fast one to please his globalist overlords. Okay, now let's move on to the next. Again, we are still on the 12th of May, and we have this, and I'm just going to call it the drug because there is huge amount of censorship around this particular drug, and I don't want this taken down, and I don't want to lose my channel. So I have to dance by their tune or not dance at all. apparently. So the drug, number of prescriptions explodes in France. Gee, I wonder why. Could it be that it's, successful, that it's very effective and cheap and works? All right, well, let's go take a look at this. Yes, the drug, number of prescriptions explodes in France. And let's take a look at this. Despite the warnings around taking the drug to combat the symptoms of COVID-19, prescriptions in France have increased by as much as 7,000% in certain parts of the country since the pandemic began. As reported by La Province, a study looking at the 466 million French prescriptions written since the pandemic began in France show a huge spike in doctors prescribing the drug. In the last week of March, for example, over 10,000 people were prescribed the drug in Marseille alone. I could be pronouncing that wrong. So, and of course, that drug is at the heart of an angry debate about how to treat this. In France and the US, the use of the drug had been fraught with those who think the risks are small enough to warrant widespread use, and those who think that more research is required before widespread prescription use. Following research conducted in China, a French doctor, Didier Raoult, head of the IHU, the Institute of Infectious Diseases in Marseille, claimed at the beginning of March that he had successfully treated patients suffering from CV with the drug. The drug is, it's an anti, and I don't even want to say what it is in case they're picking that up in the code words as well. Also used to treat people suffering from lupus. It is sold under its trader name of this word right here in France. Shortly afterward, President Trump tweeted the same news, that a combination, the drug combo, could work with patients. This latter is an antibacterial drug given in tandem to eliminate the risk of bacterial infection. Health professionals were quick to point out that no one should be using the drug without further research showing clear evidence that the drugs do work under a peer-reviewed clinical trial. Dr. Anthony Fauci, Trump's advisor, downplayed its impact as purely anecdotal, which is a complete and utter lie. And others issued warnings that it could cause severe health impacts if taken in an unsupervised capacity, such as heart problems. So, and it says the research authors believe that 41,000 people were given the drug between March 16th and April 19th. Prescriptions have been higher in Paris and Marseille, where Didier Raoult heads the IHU, Institute of Infectious Diseases. The study also noted that most people who were granted access to the drug across France were from higher socioeconomic groups. That's sad. Everyone should have equal access, don't you think? Of course. All right, so Q is giving us that for our viewing pleasure so that we will know that it just it just illustrates how wrong they have been to deny people access to this drug in the United States and Canada. They're playing the same games in Canada. Okay. Now we are on the 13th of May, and we're on drop 4226. I'm sorry, I have like something in my eye, like a cat hair or eyelash or something. It's driving me crazy. Not that I had far to go, but all right. Swamp Judge Sullivan linked to FISA judges who signed the Flynn FISA warrant. Oh, well, isn't that something? Swamp Judge Sullivan linked to FISA judges who signed the Flynn FISA warrant. Very interesting. Very interesting. All right. So let me see here. We've got this, which is, okay, this link goes to here. And I've clipped it out for our just to speed it along, Judge Sullivan resides in the same court as the FISA court. Here he is with James Boasberg and Rosemary Collier, who both signed the FISA warrant. Judge Contreras, Flynn's first judge, had to be removed from the case because of his personal relationship with Strzok. Well, you don't say. All connected. So, and Q says, excellent find, Anons, but you must go back before you can go forward. So, let's look at the next article. Judge presiding over Michael Flynn criminal case is recused. And Q is giving us some background so that we can understand what went before, so we will understand what comes after. The U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia judge presiding over the criminal case for President Donald Trump's former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn has been recused from handling the case, a court spokeswoman said on Thursday. And of course, this article is from December 7th, 2017. So, according to the court filing, U.S. District Court Judge Rudolph Contreras, who presided over a December 1st hearing where Flynn pleaded guilty to lying to the Federal Bureau of Investigation about his contacts with Russia, will no longer handle the case. Court spokeswoman Lisa Clem did not say why Contreras was recused and added the case was randomly reassigned. Reuters could not immediately learn the reason for the recusal or reach Contreras. An attorney for Flynn declined to comment. Now, Flynn's sentencing will be overseen by U.S. District Court Judge Emmett Sullivan. Sullivan was appointed by former Democratic President Bill Clinton. Should tell you everything you need to know right there. Flynn was the first member of Trump's administration to plead guilty to a crime uncovered by special counsel Robert Mueller's wide-ranging probe into Russian attempts to influence the 2016 U.S. presidential election and potential collusion by Trump aides. Russia has denied meddling in the election, and Trump has dismissed any suggestion of collusion. Flynn has agreed to cooperate with Mueller's ongoing investigation. A sentencing date has not yet been set, but the parties are due to return to court on February 1st for a status report hearing. Contreras was appointed to the bench in 2012 by former Democrat President Barack Obama. He was also appointed to the Foreign... Oh, I hate when it does that. He was also appointed to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court in May 2016 for a term lasting through 2023. The court issues warrants that allow Justice Department officials to wiretap individuals, a process that has been thrown into the spotlight amid the investigation into alleged Russian interference in the U.S. elections. The most recent controversy related to FISA warrants involves Peter Strzok, a senior FBI agent who was removed from the Russia investigation for exchanging text messages with a colleague that expressed anti-Trump views. Well, not just anti-Trump views. Yeah, it was, if you've read some of those, they're not just anti-Trump. They're like, let's get rid of them at all costs. At a hearing on Thursday, the House Judiciary Committee, Republican lawmaker Jim Jordan pressed FBI Director Christopher Wray on whether a former British spy's dossier of allegations of Russian financial and personal links to Trump's campaign and associates was used by Strzok to obtain a FISA warrant to surveil Trump's transition team. Of course it was. Judge Sullivan previously served on the Superior Court of the District of Columbia and the District of Columbia Court of Appeals under appointment by Republican presidents Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush, respectively. So, let's go back here and let's go to this, and we're going to look at, actually, let's look at this first. This is what is up here, of course, but you can't read it because it's too small, and I know some of you are on your tiny phones. Excuse me, my voice is killing me today. My allergies have been going nuts. Okay, this is from 8 31, 2018. So August 31st, 2018. Special approval, and then it says something Z, set up. Example 1, The Hill, Home News Administration, Homeland Security confirms special entry for Russian lawyer. Remember that, the Russian lawyer that they let in. It says Loretta Lynch, paper trail, special entry. And special entry was given to Natalia Veselnitskaya. I can never pronounce her last name, but she was given special entry into the country, and then Manafort, she contacted Manafort. FISA warrant issued and approved for Manafort. Mueller investigates Manafort. FISA warrant issued and approved for Papadopoulos. That's right, Papadopoulos. And Mueller then investigates Papadopoulos. FISA warrant issued and approved for Carter Page, and then Mueller investigates Carter Page. FISA warrant issued and approved for Flynn, and then Mueller investigates Michael Flynn. Now, Contreras, according to Lisa Mae Crowley, Contreras forced to recuse from General Flynn's case. He met with Hussein 3 weeks after then candidate Trump announced he was running, signed first Flynn, FISA. So the first Flynn FISA was signed by Contreras. Highly doubt Sullivan was randomly assigned to take over General Flynn's case after Contreras was forced to recuse once the Strzok Page text revealed their communications with him. And D.O. Presser Lieber says, good find, Q Blue Sky Q, and that was the one up here that showed, let's just go up here, show you which one I'm talking about. This one. That is who Sun Q2 is talking about, and says, good find. Judge Sullivan was also on the FISA court. Judge Contreras, General Flynn's first judge, was recused because he was friends with Strzok. Sullivan shouldn't recuse himself as well, but should have recused himself as well, but didn't. Was Sullivan the judge who signed the FISA warrant to allow General Flynn to be spied upon? Seems that way. Q knew this all along, and Flynn would have known this as well. This explains why Sullivan had been so hostile towards Flynn and why he is taking unprecedented actions to prevent the DOJ from dismissing the criminal charges. Let me clarify. No judge, Sullivan... Okay, let me clarify. No, Judge Sullivan did not sign the FISA warrant, as he's not one of the FISA judges, but he is in the same district as the judges on FISA court and has undoubtedly been influenced and compromised. You can't tell the public about the corruption, you must show them. Judge Sullivan is being exposed for what he is, a compromised deep state operative. The public would not believe how many federal judges are compromised unless it was clear as day. And that is so true. And let's skip up here because we missed one link. And this is the Fisk Court, the ones that issue the FISA documents. And let's look at this. This is the current membership of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court. And we've got John J. Tharp, George Singal, Thomas B. Russell, Michael Mossman, Robert Kugler, James P. Jones, Louis Girola Jr., Ann C. Conaway, Rudolph Contreras, and Rosemary Collier, and James E. Blasberg. So I'm not sure why they're showing us that. I guess showing us how these people relate and what they're doing, and the courts that they're part of. So yeah, you know, I always say, oh, nothing would surprise me. Nothing surprises me. And continually I have to take that back because I'm continually surprised by the level of corruption that we continue to see. All right, now let's go on. And we are on drop 4227. John Brennan suppresses, I think we've, yeah, okay. 4227, John Brennan suppressed intel saying Russia wanted Hillary Clinton to win. Yes, he did. Why would he have done that? Well, I guess it wouldn't have made their narrative work if, if they said, oh yeah, they want Hillary to win. Yeah, they interfered, but they wanted Hillary to win. That wouldn't work. That wouldn't, that would make their narrative not work. So I had to lie. I had to suppress that evidence. All right. Was the DNC hacked by Russia? No. CIA, Brennan Force, Seth Rich, internal download, hand-to-hand pass. It was a hand-to-hand pass, and it was done in the United States. CrowdStrike code insert. If FBI chain of command was corrupt, what other investigations were corrupted? Well, any investigations that they conducted during the time that those people were in control and were in command. Of course, corrupted people conduct corrupt investigations. Who did they provide cover for? How far back did it go? Now, and it says error ×2 on the move, so that's by Q, letting us know that any errors there are not on purpose. And we've got a link here, and it says Russia narrative all fake. Well, heck yes, it's all fake. Absolutely. Even blind people can see that. All right, Fox News, John Brennan suppressed intel saying Russia wanted Hillary Clinton to win. Now, I think in our news video, the last video I did that had news, I think I covered this, and I think I read this. It seems so I'm just going to hit on this very briefly. Fox News' Ed Henry reported Tuesday evening that Acting Director of National Intelligence Richard Grenell has declassified information calling into question the conclusion that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help Donald Trump. Henry told Tucker Carlson on Tucker Carlson Tonight that the new information would suggest that John Brennan, who headed the Central Intelligence Agency under President Barack Obama, also had intel saying actually Russia wanted Hillary Clinton to win because she was a known quantity. She had been Secretary of State, and Vladimir Putin's team thought she was more malleable, while candidate Donald Trump was unpredictable. Former National Security Council Chief of Staff Fred Fleitz made a similar claim in an article on Fox News, April 22nd. Now, I'm not going to read any more of this because we did read this yesterday. And basically what it's saying is Brennan knew full well that there was no evidence that Russia intervened, that Russia hacked, and that Russia wanted Donald Trump to win. In fact, it was the exact opposite. Russia wanted Hillary Clinton to win, but that was suppressed. Didn't want that to get out. No, of course not. And wouldn't it make sense? She sold them 20% of our uranium. She would sell the country out for a nickel, really. So yeah, it would make sense that Russia would want her in because she is an enemy to the people of the United States, and she will sell this country out for a profit. She doesn't care. So let's go back now and let's come down here. CrowdStrike made it look like the DNC was hacked by Russia. The DNC payment of $98,000 a day after Seth Rich was killed. Brennan was key conductor of Russia hoax. CrowdStrike is key regarding Ukraine and DNC server emails. POTUS asked Zelensky about it. DNC payments started May 16th, $98,000 paid on the 11th of July, 2016, the day after Seth Rich killed. Mueller report said Russia hacked the DNC servers, but never examined. They took CrowdStrike's word. Yeah. And Dio Presso Liber says Breitbart article just published discussing newly declassified material by Grenell showing that Brennan suppressed intel saying Russia wanted Clinton to win presidency because she was more predictable and malleable. Russia's story has been a hoax from the beginning. And isn't that what Q said? Like when he first started posting? I mean, we've known this for a long time, but it seems like the rest of the world is just waking up to this. And which the reason for that is because it's been kept out of the mainstream news, right? I mean, we've known, but people that get all their information from the mainstream news thought we were crazy when we were talking about this stuff. Many of them still do. All right, let's go to the next one. We're still on May 13th, and we're on drop 4228. NSA provides list of Obama admins who unmasked Flynn. POTUS Q Plus provides a proof it's happening. I like this drop, I really do, because let's look at this. This Anon said, "Hello, sir, Q Plus. Is it really happening? Can you tweet it? Thank you, boss." And that was on 5/11. And on 5/12, Trump tweets the following: "Our testing is the best in the world by far. Numbers are coming down in most parts of our country, which wants to open and get going again. It's happening safely." So what are the odds of that, that this person asks Q Plus, who we know to be Trump himself, he asks him, "Is it really happening? Could you tweet it?" And he does. He says it's happening safely. And he wasn't here talking about, the rest of the country opening up. He was doing this exactly as an answer to this Anon. So then we've got another link here. And let's go and take a look at that, because we can, and we will, and we are. Okay, scoop. CBS News obtains Richard Grenell notification to Congress declassified unmasking lists. Flynn between late 2016 and January 2017. Read 3 pages provided by NSA here. And who do you think is on that list? Well, one of the people on that list is Joe Biden. James Clapper, Samantha Power, San Marino, U.S. Ambassador to Italy, and the Republic of San Marino, John R. Phillips, John Brennan. Oh, imagine his name being there. Patrick Conlon, Jacob Lew, Arthur Danny McGlynn, Mike Newfield, Sarah Raskin, Nathan Sheets. And I don't even recognize any of those names, but we certainly recognize Clapper, Brennan, and someone told me that Joseph Biden is in here. But I'm trying to look here to see just quickly if I can find it, because I have been told it's here. Yes. Vice President of the United States, Joseph R. Biden. Yep. So, there you go. There are the guilty parties that unmasked General Flynn, or that had the ability to unmask him. Oh, and Joe Biden, by the way, said, "Oh, I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about it." Liar. But then what else is new? Okay, so there you go. And it says delay in Q share. Oh, yes. And underneath here, it says board under heavy attack Q. It says delay in Q sharing due to 8-coon. There's a little fly, a little fruit fly. Delay in Q sharing due to 8-coon being under attack. Another Q proof regarding it's happening. 5th of December 16 order signed by Clapper and Lynch, Brennan, Comey, Clapper, Biden, etc. are screwed. Yeah. They are screwed, chewed, and barbecued. No other way to put it. Their butt is grass and, Trump is the lawnmower. POTUS answered question from Anon on the board and confirmed it is happening safely. Board 8 Kun, where Q post is under heavy attack by shills. They know it's happening now. Meanwhile, NSA provides lists of those who requested General Flynn's identity be unmasked. And they're in big caca. Okay, and still on the 13th of May, we are on drop 4229. 4229. D5 equals D, fourth letter of the alphabet, and 5, fifth month of the year, equals May 4th. All right, now, May 4th is the date of this particular memorandum, and it is and it says D5 date on the ODNI release. So that is what Q is wanting us to recognize here. And it says, excellent find, Anon. They thought it meant December 5th, state funeral, NSA. A lot more coming soon. So Q is saying that the D5 is this, D5. And this from the National Security Agency. And it says, subject, follow up unmasking requests regarding former National Security Advisor. Per your email request of the 3rd of May, 2020, I am providing a revised list of identities of any individuals who submitted requests to the National Security Agency at any point between the 8th of November, 2016 and the 31st of January, 2017 to unmask the identity of former National Security Advisor, Lieutenant General Michael T. Flynn. The original list was in alphabetical order. The revised list is in chronological order, including the date the request was received. Consistent with the original response dated the 1st of May, 2020, this information is provided pursuant to the oversight authorities vested with the Director of National Intelligence, and a copy of this correspondence will be provided to the Secretary of Defense, Paul M. Nakasone, General U.S. Army Director. All right, so declassified by acting DNI Richard A. Grinnell on the 8th of May. So this note was declassified on the 8th of May. It's dated the 4th of May. Q is saying that is the D5. So, and as we know, these things generally have double, sometimes triple, sometimes quadruple meanings. So it could also be an avalanche, because this could be what causes, you know, when an avalanche just starts and just, you know, this could be it. This is big. It's big. You know, it's very, very big. Now, so this by Lisa Mae Crowley. She says, nice catch regarding D5 stamped on General Nakasone's letter. Wondering if info came from D5, NSA's Corporate Assessment Office. More on NSA Office of Corporate Assessments. They thought D-Class was on the 5th of December 2018, the date of George Herbert Walker Bush's funeral. And come down here for further clarification. The meaning of D5 was not December 5th, the state funeral for Bush. This info is necessary. D5 is stamped on the letter from General Nakasone to DNI Director Grinnell. Boom, it's on. He provided the list of those who requested the unmasking of General Flynn. And Joe Biden is on there, who said, oh, well, I don't know anything about it. Okay, and we are still on the 13th of May, and we are on drop 4230, 4230. The list of Obama admins who unmasked Flynn is just the start of the booms. All right, let's come down here, and Q says pain. Then he also includes this from the 12th of May, 2019, where he states, boom week ahead. Treason doesn't pay well in the end. Actually, this was from the 12th of May, 2019. 2019. Boom week ahead. Treason doesn't pay well in the end. Q. And Q adds to this, this is only the start. And Lisa Mae Crowley says, we were promised a boom week, definitely off to a great start. I suspect we will learn the spying has been going on from day one. Brennan admitted to spying on the Senate in 2014. Clapper said NSA spying was done unwittingly. Oh, right. Yeah, he's believable. And I thought this was really good. Anon's analysis. Flynn's name, and I got this from the website Disclosure Italia, and there is a section there for Q posts, and this is what Lisa May is one of the regular decoders, also Sun Q2, also Praying Medic. So I do like that website. Anyway, Anon's analysis. Flynn's name was supposed to be masked, redacted, blacklined, can't see who it is, classified, and to unmask it, you need ample evidence to prove a crime was committed or about to be committed. So they created false evidence to unmask Flynn, which was illegal, and they all knew they were using phony evidence and fabricating entire stories to get this done. So then they unmasked him. Then they sent the FBI agents to entrap him by asking him questions. Then they said he was lying, while reporting internally that he wasn't lying, and saying he would face long jail time and they would go after his son unless he signed a guilty plea. So he did. Then finally, evidence was freed up from another case a grand jury was working on, which proved he was innocent. So then he came out and said he's withdrawing his case as they no longer have the leverage over him and his son with threats after already forcing him into bankruptcy. So basically, they did all this illegal shite to get Flynn out of the way because they thought Flynn was going to take down the entire deep state, so they should get him out of the way. Little did they know that getting him out of the way was going to be the cause of the deep state all getting caught. They caught themselves. They're stupid. Yes, they are. Now, this up here, hang on here, that we were looking at, okay, it says the recipients who may have received General Flynn's identity when they shouldn't have had it. And it has this, which really is the same. Samantha Powers, James Clapper, John Brennan, and of course we know that Joseph Biden is on that list as well. Okay, so let's go on now. We are on drop 4231, 4231. I'm just going to see how much we have left of the 13th so that I know where to break. Because if I can get through these in a few minutes, then I will. If not, I may have to break and come back and finish these. Yeah, there's still a lot from the 13th left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break here, and I'll come back. I'll come back with the 13th and possibly the 14th, because I do want to get these done and caught up, because I know that a lot of you want to stay caught up with this, but I also want to bring the news. Dang it. Okay, I'll stop whining and I'll get to work. I'll get this uploaded and I'll get working on the next one for you. All right, guys, thank you so much. And thanks to you that contribute via Coffee or Patreon or PayPal. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate all of you. So thank you, and I will see you in the next video. All right.